So I got a dilemma. Maybe you can give me a little feedback on this. Give me your opinion. What is the dividing line between dealing with somebody's mental health and whooping their ass? Now, I'm serious. It sounds kind of funny. It actually could be a funny video, but I'm actually serious. What is the thin line? What is the red line, the line you don't cross, between trying to be sensitive and understanding to someone who might be having, or someone who probably is having, significant mental health issues, and when they become a potential threat and you might have to go there with them? Now, of course, whenever you take things to a certain level, it's almost like war in a certain way. You never know what could happen. Shit could go way beyond what you intended, and instead of maybe just barking, you actually bite, somebody gets hurt, even worse. Lives could be changed just because you needed to flex on somebody. But straight up, what's the thin line between, look, trying to understand that we've all got some issues. I'm a firm believer that every single person, every motherfucker out there from 2 to 102 has got some issue. We've all got some issues. So whenever you see somebody that's different than you, whatever the fuck difference it is, recognize you too, motherfucker, have a difference about you. You also have something about you that people look up and down and go, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why do you keep doing that shit? Why can't you get it together? We've all got some strengths. I firmly believe everybody has something that somebody else will go, wow, that's impressive. I can't do that. But on the flip side of that coin is you also have some things that people are like, yeah, let me help you with that, because you obviously don't know what the fuck you're doing. So, but when it comes to severe mental issues, like the type of mental issues where, like I say, it's borderline threatening or harmful to others. You know, obviously if it's harmful to that person, if that person is self-harming themselves, they need help and therapy. And shout out to anybody that's getting therapy, anybody that thinks they need to get therapy, go seek it. I mean, you know, try the tools that are available to us. You know, that's what any smart person would do. Try the tools, the various tools that are available. That's one of the tools. A lot of people in different cultures, they want to do self-therapy. Some people, they go to the church. Some people, they go to drugs. Some people, whatever. But we've all got some issues that we either inherited genetically or that we accumulate throughout our lifetime. But I've got a certain issue where I've got a dude in my neighborhood. It's a couple of homeless. I don't want to just say homeless because it's not about them being homeless, but there's a couple of people who are down and out. That's the most accurate way I can say it without trying to disparage them. A few down and out people in the neighborhood. You know, I think there's maybe a shelter somewhere nearby, and you know, they walk up to people and they ask them for money. They, you know, sometimes multiple times in a day, they might fucking forget that they asked you a couple of hours ago. And, you know, they need money. It's a capitalist society. I understand that. But here's the problem. And I'm not going to go through the whole list of things of like, why don't you get a job and lift yourself by your bootstraps and get an education and get off drugs. I'm not going to go through all that. What I'm going to go through is this. And here's my dilemma. Is as I see this dude essentially casing the neighborhood. Not casing the neighborhood to break into houses. Because I've been eyeballing this dude. I'm a Sigma male. I can observe like a motherfucker. I've been eyeballing this dude. He's not like looking to break into houses, but he's breaking into cars. He's going into backyards and he's like vandalizing shit and then leaving. Doesn't actually take anything, but he'll go through somebody's car and scatter everything in their fucking car and then leave. Like I say, he won't actually take anything. Or he'll go into somebody's backyard and like move a bunch of shit around and try to take a lawnmower, but not actually take it. So clearly, some mental health issues. Now, on one level, it's good that this motherfucker isn't trying to break into houses or do more damage. When I observe him walking up on people, it's definitely unwelcoming. It can be a little intimidating or even threatening because the way he's walking up on people's cars, approaching different people, men and women, at certain times of the day and night, you just can't walk up on everybody directly to them and then ask them for some money. And he's asked me for money once or twice. Came up to me. I was in my car, private lot, like you really shouldn't be approaching me. A lot of people then left this earth for entering uncertain areas. You really shouldn't be approaching me at night in a lot that you're not supposed to be in. But he walked up on me. I'm eyeballing him. I see what he's about. Hey man, I'm not trying to, but can you help me with something? It's like, I ain't got nothing on me. Now, what I usually do with people, because I'm a human fucking being, what I usually do with people is when they ask me for money, I either do one or two things. One, if I've got a couple of dollars, something I don't mind handing over. Hey, this was going to buy me lunch, and I'm not starving out here, man. Here you go. This ain't shit for me, but hopefully it's helpful to you. I'll either, one, give them a little something if I got it, if I'm in the right mood, because it's ultimately about charity. Or two, if I don't have the money, or I don't want to give it to them, I'll say, no, I don't have it, but I hope you get it, though. Because I'm a fucking Sigma male. Like I said, I have a fucking heart, even if I can be cold-hearted at times. So, I genuinely, if this person is in a bad way, I genuinely wish I wish you better. I wish you well. So if I can't give it to you, I hope that you do get it. If I can't be your savior, I hope you find your savior. I hope you save yourself. But I do hope better for you if you're not out here trying to fuck people over. That's genuine who I am. And a lot of other Sigma males. But there's a fine line between wishing someone well and not knowing someone's intentions. So in the whole mental health balance, there is a fine line between this person being a human being. What if your sibling, what if your child, what if someone you cared about had some issues and was out here in a certain way and was essentially this person, walking up to people, asking them for money, not able to hold a job, dressed the way they dressed, act the way they act, and just can't really get right? What if that was your fucking blood? Your fucking people? Would you treat them so shittily? Would you want other people to treat them shittily? Would you want other people whooping their ass and chasing them away? No. You'd be like, have some fucking sympathy. They can't get right. They're trying to. Not everybody is out here trying to harm you. Not everybody. But there's a fine line, as I was trying to explain to somebody. I'm of the mindset that the way that people ultimately take action is through something internal. There can be an external motivator, but the real thing that moves you to action is internal. So a lot of times, for me, my strategy is when I'm dealing with other people, even if I'm dealing with myself, what motivates you? What do you want to see happen? What I like what someone said is, I try to remember this a lot of times. What does success look like to you? So in my mind, in the way that I was raised, in the environment that I came from, in the world that I inhabit, I think of, the best way to kind of reach somebody is to find some way to genuinely ask about what they're into, ask about what motivates them. And a lot of times you'll see the true authenticity of who they are and what they want to do and who they want to be from that, as opposed to trying to shove a square peg into a round hole. So, to me, someone who comes from a different background than me, someone who comes from better than me, someone who comes from worse than me, there's a common denominator in almost all of us, which is what motivates you. It can be a different answer, but ultimately what motivates you, because that's going to be the truest indicator of what you're ultimately going to do. So I say all of this to say that when I come across a lot of times people who are down and out, yeah, you can say, hey, why don't you get a job? Or have you thought about getting jobs? But ultimately, if they've got a severe significant mental health issue. They're not able to hold a job. You know, they might be volatile. They might be threatening. They might, you know what I'm saying? And so it's hard for them to get any real stability, which is the foundation for any type of growth. So while trying to have a heart and understand that this person is not necessarily trying to be threatening, that this person, in their way, because I'll see this dude beeline and start walking fast with a brisk little walk and a run to get to somebody on the other side of the street to walk up and ask them for 50 cents. And I wonder if someone said, hey man, fuck all that. If you came and you cleaned my yard, if you came and you painted my fence, if you came and did this and that and whatever, I'd pay you. I'm not going to give you money, but if you do some work for me, I'll give it to you consistently because you're providing value for value. So instead of walking up on me every time and asking me for 50 cents, for $1, for whatever change I got, why don't we negotiate where you come and holler at me every Monday or every Friday, do some work with me, and I pay you $10, $20, which is way more than I would have gave you right here now. Motivation. You want money, right? You need money, right? You saw an opportunity in me. You saw an opportunity in that person to walk up on them, you know, without any respect or decorum, really, a minimum amount, and straight up ask them for money. But instead of doing that, what if you got more on the tip of, can I do some work for you, and you got paid 10, 20, 50 times better? Now, the problem is in my thinking, from my perspective, we got to always remember that people think out of their perspectives if they're able to think. From my perspective, internal motivation. You're out here asking for money, right? You need some money. You want some money. I can give you better money if you do some work. Trying to touch that internal motivation, that motivator. But if this person has a severe mental issue, that doesn't really work. It doesn't really work. It's not reliable. So the problem is that then you reach a certain point where it's like, I don't know how to communicate with you now. Because if I can't tap into some type of internal motivation, some type of, not necessarily end game, but instead of step A and step B, where's C? Where's D? Where are you really trying to get to? You trying to get some money right now? Well, instead of 50 cents, like I say, what if you can get $5, $10, $20? Does that interest you? Let's see what you'd be willing to do for it. So now, here's the issue where it gets borderline, is this a security issue? Because let's say this person has severe mental issues. So they're out here asking for money in an aggressive, assertive type of way, but they're not stealing. That's weird. They're approaching people and like I say, putting themselves out there, but not necessarily to like get a job. So how do I know? I don't really know what your motivation is. And because I don't know what your motivation is, the scariest thing in all of human interaction is the unknown, is not knowing. That's what freaks you out in scary movies. That's what makes you, grab your gun or grab your bat or call the police when you hear that noise coming from the other room or in the basement. It's the unknown. Once you have an idea of what it could be, it gets much less scarier. So when you come across someone that's like, I see you assertively asking people for money. I see you assertively walking up on people. I see you, and if I'm correct, I think I have seen this dude like going in the cars. I think I actually have seen him doing that. So what I'm saying is if you will go that route, but not take something, I can't really predict your behavior. So how do I know that if mom and her kids are out here or something, or some elderly person is out here, that you won't smack them upside the head and just keep going? Like you didn't even take nothing from them. You just acted erratically and did some bullshit. So this dude has, like I say, been in the neighborhood. I've been eyeballing him, this and that. I think he might have even tried to come onto my property once or twice. And so just now, a few minutes ago, before this video, I seen the motherfucker approach my property. And I had to roll up on him and be like, no. Because I've been eyeballing him out here. I'm like, nah, man, get the fuck on. And he's like, no, I just want to, nah, man, get the fuck on. Don't come around here. And as a Sigma male, I don't necessarily like being like that. I would prefer some humanity. But when you reach a certain point, I'm not trained. I'm not skilled in dealing with certain mental health issues. I can help someone who's depressed. I can help someone that's in doubt. I can help motivate someone. I can, get geeked with someone and make plans and try to take over the world. But certain mental health issues, I'm not trained for. Most people are not trained for. You know who are trained for them? The professionals. So we need way more of those people. We need just even more mass education of various ways to deal with mental health issues. But when it reaches a certain point, okay, yeah, I know what your issue is. Yet and still, now you are a potential threat. And when someone becomes a potential threat, they've crossed the line. I don't have now the opportunity to ask what your intentions are. I don't have necessarily the benefit of the doubt to give you the benefit of the doubt. I have to, at some point, assume a certain position. Now, some people, the moment you cross that line and they think you're a threat, you done already got shot. Some people, maybe it's a shot in the air. Some people, maybe it's a very stern verbal acknowledgement that you will get fucked up if you proceed further. Whatever it is. Maybe it's someone that says, hey, private property, can you please not approach us? Like, how do you deal with someone when you're, say, out and about with your family or you're doing something, blah, 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 blah. You might be in a compromised position. You're getting shit out your car and someone walks up on you, looking a certain way, maybe acting a certain way, and they want something from you. What happens when you say, I don't have anything? What happens when you say, no, wait a minute, I do have a little something. Let me look at your behavior, your mental imbalance. I can't really predict what motivates you, what might at least if someone is looking to rob you, you might fucking be able to negotiate with that person and be like, hey, instead of coming at me this way, man, let me just go ahead and give you this, and then you can just be gone. Like, you ain't even got to threaten me like that. Like, just there you go. But when you don't even know the motivation of the person, I don't even know if you're here to rob me. You just erratic. You could just do some shit. Nah. You can't have that person walk up on you. Now you've got to treat them less than human and basically chase them away. But like I said, what if that was your fucking son? What if that was your fucking daughter? What if, you know what I'm saying? What if that was your mom? Like, there's people out here on the street that never thought they would be on the street. It's people out here on the street that shouldn't be on the street. But something happened. And of course, there's a lot of people maybe never had the right support. A lot of people out here got caught up in a real bad way. Who knows? Who knows another person's story, man? All I know is this. There's a thin line. There's a very hard to tell line, but you can tell when someone has crossed it because you start to feel a certain way. And I am of a certain type that from the celebrity to the outcast, you're a fucking human being. You've got a story. What's up with you? That's who I am. So when I come across someone who's outcast, nobody fucks with them, that fucks with me a little bit. When I come across someone who is the celebrity and everybody loves, that fucks with me a little bit. But when you dig a little deeper and you say, and you see, oh, that's why people don't fuck with you. That's why people don't fuck with you. I get it now. Or, that's why those people don't fuck with you. This is why I don't fuck with you no more. That's different. Or you come across somebody who, like I say, everybody loves, and then you kick it with them and you're like, yeah, you are kind of cool as shit. You all right. You gonna make it. But there's a thin line when you know, look, it's not about me trying to be nice and be human and treat other person with respect. It's about you've become a security threat. Your behavior, I can't determine. I don't know what your motivation is. You got to get the fuck on up out of here. So I don't know. Tell me what y'all think, or how, whatever ways you've dealt with that issue. But we need more trained people out here, man, because I ain't trained in that way. Once it becomes a security issue, it's a fucking security issue. I'm out.